Hey y'all, hey. Welcome back to another session of Meditations with Marini. And this clip is going to be fairly short because it's just a clip where I'm going to ask a few questions and just pondering a few things. And one of the things that I'm pondering is I am currently working on my final exams, and I am pretty much exhausted. I had a meeting this morning and I decided instead of going home, I would swing by my office and just try to work on it here because I felt like if I went home, I would just be enticed to just do something different, try to sit down on the sofa, watch a movie, something that would keep me from actually finishing the job. And then I kind of I haven't been to play pool in a few weeks, so if I finish, I really want to reward myself with um, at least going to shoot one game tonight to just kind of debrief my mind and give me some woosah. But I wanted to come on and ask you all, for those of you that are still interested in dating and marriage, what are you willing to sacrifice? And I'm asking that question because as we all are really kind of set in our ways in this age bracket, the 40, 50, and 60-year-old age bracket, especially the 50 and 60-year-old, there are sacrifices that have to be made. Like, I'm looking at what it's taking for me to come and actually, um, finish my homework for today. It takes a lot of discipline. And in that discipline, oftentimes I miss out on things. Like, my girlfriend called me and she said, "Hey, are you going to the party at so and so's house?" And I was like, "What? That's today." And so I said, "No, I'm not going to be able to go. I'm locking in to finish up my assignments." And I'm doing that because I could push most of it out to tomorrow. I could probably skip church, and I could probably just spend all day tomorrow finishing up everything that I have. But I really don't like to put that kind of pressure on myself. So one of the things that I'm going to do is just stay here at my job for a few hours, and I'm going to try to finish up 3 of the assignments. So 2 of them I've already done. I just need to clean them up, like make sure I don't have any typos, go back through it, make sure that the sentences read correctly and everything. But when we talk about the desire to have a mate, understanding that sacrifices have to be made. And in speaking with some, I won't really even say my friends, just speaking with people in general who are in this age bracket, many don't want to make the sacrifice, but they want the benefit of what goes along with the relationships. And there are some who will be able to agree with that, and there are some who will be able to commit to that and actually remain committed to it. There are some people who will be able to commit to a long-term relationship with someone that says, "Hey, I think you're a good fit for me." But for the most part, what I find is that, especially with women, if it's a female who says that she commits to that, eventually she is going to want the rest. She may say yes to that in the beginning, but fellas, eventually she is going to want a full commitment. And so one of the things that I find with myself is that I don't commit to something that I know, like just in my personal habits. My personal habit in life, I typically don't start habits that I'm not going to be able to keep up. And if I find myself starting a habit that I know that I'm not going to maintain, because I'm the type of person that I only put things in place that are going to be something that I'm going to do from here on out, unless it's just a temporary situation. Maybe somebody living with you or somebody. I don't really do things like letting people borrow my car. I was about to say maybe letting somebody borrow my car, but that would just be a lie because I'm real funny about stuff like that. And so I would get up and just make the sacrifice if you need me for a week to say I'll sacrifice and take you to work. But even after that, I'm not going to commit to that for long, just because I'm not going to tie myself up in something like that. But mainly, I really just kind of wanted to, like, just thinking up to myself, the sacrifices that I'm willing to make for someone, and not being willing to lower my standard to not let somebody be willing to make those sacrifices for me. And, also just speaking with another girlfriend and thinking about the fact that in any relationship, you have to give and take. There is a yin for a yang. There is a yes for a no. There's a up for a down. And it doesn't have to be that way all the time, but it does have to be consistent enough that that person gets to know you, to know that you would actually make the same sacrifices for them that they would for you. And so, just as we kind of think about dating, I asked you guys the other day, how would y'all feel about a site that would, or a location or a community that would allow you to post a short video, something similar to this, perhaps give your name, where you're from, tell a few things about yourself, and then you be able to post that to see if you can connect with other people. And then if you are able to connect, what are you going to do with that connection? Like, and I really have to say, for some men, in talking to them, is it just a time for them to just find different women? And I do find that when I was in the dating sites, one of the things that I felt was that there was probably a very high rotation of men talking to different women. And in that, you can only keep up conversation with one or two women at a time. Like most men, if we honest, most men don't have the capacity to really carry two or three women, If the truth be told, the average man can really only have the capacity to carry one woman. And when I say carry one woman, he doesn't have, he only has enough intellect, enough financial support, enough time. And even if he is intimately involved with her, he gonna only be able to do that, somebody gonna get left out. Somebody is not going to get that component. So if it's multiple people that's involved in that piece as well, so he may have one woman that he talks to just for his basic fulfillment. He may have another woman that he takes out to dinner. He may have another woman who he is intimately involved in. And so he puts all those women together to come up with his one woman, when, actually he should just be, if he's interested in dating and possibly getting married, which is what my channel is about. If he's interested in that, he should just try to find a woman that has the components that he needs in order to assure that he can have that wholeness with that one woman. But, I don't know why I said that, guys. Somebody must have needed to hear that. But the bottom line is, most men don't have the capacity to carry two or three women. They don't. That's why I used to love that show, Sister Wives. I liked the show. I liked the concept of how they lived and what they were doing. And when I say I liked it, not that I would participate in it, but I thought they did a really good job of balancing those things. Well, I guess a couple of years ago, I didn't realize that the show really kind of has dismantled, and those women, several of them have gone on to marry someone else, and it kind of messed up their family dynamic the way that they once knew it. But I used to wonder, how in the world does this dude function with these 4 women? Because at the time I think he had 4 wives, and then all those children. And I think it's great that the kids have the siblings and things of that sort, but it's just a lot. That's a lot of management. That's a lot of responsibility. I could see his stress level being very, very high. That's a lot of people to manage for one person. And if you're doing it according to the way they said they were doing it, he was the head of the household and he was the main, I guess, provider for them, that could become a very difficult thing to manage. But to get back to what I was talking about today, and I'm talking about making sacrifices. What are you willing to sacrifice to get what you desire? And at the end of the day, if you don't have someone that's willing to make the same sacrifices that you're willing to make, then think about whether or not it's worth the sacrifice for you. And when I say that, I've even had a guy that, he was mad because he couldn't date me, but he basically just said, oh, you're going to grow old and you're going to have cats and you're going to be old by yourself. And, you know, I said to him, I might be old by myself, but I won't be old with you. And so at the end of the day, I might be by myself, but I'm going to know that I'm by myself. I'm not going to be in a relationship with someone as I was with him and still feel like I was by myself. And so that won't even be a question. Like, I'm going to know I'm going home every day to myself. I'm going to know that I'm going to dinner by myself. I'm going to know I'm going to the movies by myself. I'm not going to be in a relationship where I don't have somebody that will be willing to do the same things for me. I don't always feel like doing certain things, but because I desire the relationship component, I'm going to be willing to make the adjustments that need to be made in order for me to be successful in that. So, as I mentioned, this is not going to be a long video because I got homework to do, y'all. These finals are calling in tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. I will be done. I'm hoping to be finished before that time. So if I can schedule everything good, I'll be done. I have 4 assignments. What did I do? 4. I got 4 assignments that I'm working on. And if I can finish 2 of them while I'm here, and then I'm thinking that I might wait and take my test later, like go play me a couple of games of pool and then go home and take my test. Or I might actually stay here, go ahead and take the test, then go play me a couple of games of pool. And then tomorrow, I will only have 1 more test left. So, as I am even making a sacrifice now to continue building my channel and to continue making sure that I connect with you, what sacrifices are you willing to make for the mate that you're asking God for? And then, what sacrifices are you expecting for your mate to make since you're asking God for that mate? Just something to ponder. Give me some feedback in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what things that you would be willing to do to make sure that you could assure that your person is comfortable with you. And then I'd love for you to click like. I'd love for you to share this with a friend. And I would love for you to subscribe. Have a good one.